I guess.
Kyle. Who's the kidnapper?
All right. Well, here we are, Brett. We are finishing up some real quick travel preparations with the 2016 Hershey Swap to Street build challenge. I think you can see in the background we have our soon-to-be infamous Model A chassis.
Right. It's looking like a boat trailer right now. I kind of want to put something on it.
Right now it is a boat trailer, quite honestly.
Don't tempt me. We're going to put something up on the way, aren't we?
Yeah, why not? Why not? We could set some motorcycles on there. We could get a weight runner.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right.
So, you and I have a pretty interesting week coming up. Hopefully we have some questions coming in on the live stream. And so anyway, so to give everybody just a quick rundown, if you haven't seen it already, we have 2 of our 4 build members from last year. Myself and Brad will be back on that build. We've added Brett, and Randy will be there as well, Randy Klaus. So, and we have a couple extra people out in the field that we found that we really needed last year. So we're going to have a good time with this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be challenging. We still have to build a car at the end of the day and drive it home.
At the end of the day, we got to have them drive a Model A or
exactly.
a Sky at Hershey.
Yeah, which is a wonderful place to be, but at the same token, I do that.
That's right.
Obviously, our first and foremost will be body. To locate, we have the beauty of a Model A is that frame fits every body, if that makes sense.
The rest of it is up to the imagination. Really cool.
Yeah, exactly. All right. The status of last year's build. Question is from a streaming standpoint, can you see towards the front of the Model A chassis?
Is it past my head there?
All right, cool. Okay. So the status of last year's build. Last year's build is our 1946 Ford pickup truck that we got home last year. Drove home. Our test was 700 miles back to TC. We did some minor maintenance work, and then proceeded out to Las Vegas to the SEMA show, which we put roughly 2,500 miles on. Brought it back, and it made the trip wonderfully, with one flaw, and that was we had issues with the fuel tank that was resealed. That coating started coming out in Texas, and we had to use, as they say, jerry cans to make it the rest of the way. So that worked out very well. We have since then rebuilt that engine, which you will see in a time-lapse video if you search Ford flathead time-lapse. That engine rebuild will come up, or of course it's on the Hagerty channel. And then also, right after that engine build, to break in the engine, we put it on the Great Race, which was sent from San Rafael, California to Moline, Illinois, and it forged on without issue. And that motor's strong, sounds good.
Looks cool too, man.
We still have this, virtually the same exhaust pipes on it, so it's ratty and gnarly and a lot of fun to drive.
Just like it should be.
So its next task, to continue on with that question, the long-winded version, its task is actually to bring this year's project out. So we have the Model A chassis with the rear axle, front axle's not in it, and basically turned it into a boat trailer, and we're going to drag it out to Hershey. So, what are we most scared of?
I don't know. That engine.
Well, I know there's one guy down in Ann Arbor that might beat us if we don't make this succeed. But anyhow, our biggest, I think with any project, I think our largest time-consuming task is always the little pieces that you completely forget about. Because you glaze over all the high-level stuff of, all right, we need a body, we need doors, we need an exhaust, we need seats. Ideally, we have a hood on it, we have a grill, those types of things. That's what are going to put us down the road. And then you forget about, oh, geez, we got to throw headlights on this, taillights.
Controls on the interior.
Yes, right.
Not necessarily.
Right. So, and then the little bits that'll connect us. So, for instance, like back to this Swap the Street truck, it was the 9th hour and realized that we did not have a clutch rod to go from that actuated from basically the clutch pedals, the intermediate between the clutch pedals and the actual transmission. That was a little hit and miss there for a while.
Or you had to fabricate something on the fly.
Yeah, we got lucky and we were able to make something work. So we're packing extra duct tape and baling wire and zip ties to make the toolkit complete.
Your clutch pedal job's still in the truck, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. We needed a minor reinforcement, but yes, it is. Oh yeah. So actually, go ahead, Brett.
Sure.
I've been jabbering.
So we've got a little bit of contest going on here. So we're gonna, at the end of this, we're gonna pick out our favorite comment or our favorite question, and we've got a Swap the Street shirt that we'll be wearing at Build Team members on site there at Hershey this year, or we have the Barn Find Road Trip book, which is a really cool book. Awesome photos, awesome story. It's by Tom Cotter, who probably seen on our YouTube channel, does the Barn Find Hunter show and everything. So at the end of it, we'll kind of pick out our favorite, and then we'll be giving one of these away, your choice.
So the chassis that we have is a 1930 Model A chassis, and as I mentioned, with that, Ford was pretty wise, if you will, at that time. Is one frame fits any body style. So we could go with a truck, we could go with a 2-door sedan, a 4-door sedan, a roadster, a 2-door coupe. We could even go with like a vegetable truck if we found something along that lines.
Yeah, that'd be kind of
That would be kind of, yeah. Or there is even some, I'll loosely call them a van. But anyhow, but I think my personal favorite would be something more along the lines of like a 2-door coupe with a rumble seat.
rumble seat.
Yeah, that way Brad can ride in the rumble seat on the way back.
Yeah.
I think he'd enjoy that, mainly. But I could be wrong. Maybe not.
I don't know. We
But
get a good reaction out of him.
Well, enough we won't hear him.
That's the key.
He doesn't like it. So yeah, that's what I'd like to see personally. I'd really be interested to see what everybody else kind of thinks what we should do. And then of course at the end of the day, it's going to be whatever we can find. Because if we can't find it, we can't put it together. So we're kind of at that mercy as well.
You're going to have the choice of what's at Hershey, so that'll be the fun part.
What's your inspiration for this build, and what was the deciding factor in choosing the Model A over the Plymouth and the Chevy?
Okay. Yeah, so we had, as everybody saw, we had 3 different choices, and the question is why we went with the Model A, opposed to 2 other choices that we were contemplating. One was a '56 Chevy station wagon, 4-door. It fit all of our general criteria, which was pretty loose. Of A, we need to build it at Hershey, and B, we would like to have it to have 4 seats in it. So we can bring all 4 people in it in the car. So that station wagon certainly fit that bill. But and then that Plymouth, the 37 Plymouth was phenomenal. That was actually a great project to pick up in your store. And then the Model A with just the chassis, of course, brought the least complete, but at the same token, the other 2 don't that don't lend themselves to being built at Hershey. Hershey's primarily Ford, and it's primarily I'll just loosely say 53, 54 standpoint. So kind of at the end of the Ford V8, flathead V8, when you get to the next generation, it kind of
Where it all dies off. Yeah.
for that particular show, which is amazing because that show is the Hershey Swap Meet is, I'm going to say, the largest swap meet, automotive swap meet, certainly on this side of the. No, it's of all the swap meets I've been to in the U.S., that is the largest swap meet. Charlotte and one down in Georgia, and Texas, and Portland, Pomona, and of course Carlisle. Those are all large, but they're not nearly as large as this is. Yeah, they really do. But all those swap meets all have the older '60s feel to them. This is all pre-250. So
it's kind of cool too because, like you said, you'll go to a lot of these swap meets, and a lot of it will be like '60s muscle car stuff.
Yeah.
And this one's even before that, so we're pretty lucky that we're going to a place where we have a good selection, solid selection of Model A parts that we'll be able to choose from.
Yep, exactly. And doing the Plymouth, as bold as that would be, and cool to have that car done, and driving, and that one really needs to be driving. But that would be a tough car to put together, not at a swap meet, with 2 to 3 years to do it. I mean, just to locate some of those little bits are
I heard
really
that
tough.
some of the parts interchangeability between years is a little
always
difficult.
Yep. Yeah. And that's something I find that's really interesting with Model A is technically there's only 4 years of Model A. We have a 28, 29, and then 30 and 31. A lot of the parts interchange mechanically 28 to 31. But that's only 4 years of a build of a model one, let's call it. Yeah. And but Henry built a bazillion of these things. So
many.
They are and obviously wildly popular, and they didn't crumble body-wise like, for instance, Chevrolets did. There's a lot of Chevrolets sold in that years as well, but the way they were constructed, they flat out rotted and fell apart, and nobody hung on to their chassis. So. Uh-oh.
Now man is a two-day repairman, and he has an alternate set of tools. What's that from?
Oh boy, I'm not real good at the trivia stuff on that. So the question is, and I may have to see to read it back up, but yeah. So the question is, my old man is a TV repairman, and he has an ultimate set of tools. I can fix it. What's it from? Geez, that's a loaded question.
I don't know.
I really don't know either. Geez. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. With the exception of the person that submitted that question, the first person that sends in the right answer will get the T-shirt. How's that sound? Or a T-shirt, if not. If we have an extra. That's the easy way to deflect that.
Right? I don't know. They probably know.
That would be something Matt Lewis would know, I bet. And if he's watching the live stream, send it in.
Matt, you don't get a T-shirt.
No, but we'll get him something. Maybe
maybe a melted Hershey bar.
Yeah.
What's your inspiration for this build, and what do you plan on accomplishing this year that you didn't last year?
Okay, so what is our inspiration for this build, and what do we plan on accomplishing that we did not last year? Well, first and foremost, our goal is to have the vehicle done Friday opposed to really late on Saturday. So goal-wise, be able to drive it around on Saturday. Obviously, we are not registered. AACA certainly would require us to be registered prior to midnight on Friday, relative to what vehicle we have. And certainly we are not a restored or a survivor class. I don't know, maybe at some point in time they'll have a resurrected class, and maybe we can fit into that. But we will certainly, our goal is to have it over on the orange field at one of the main entrances, basically the main entrance going into the show, which from that, from the AACA judging show that they have there on Saturday, I would highly recommend that to anyone to go look at, because there's just phenomenal cars there of all versions, we'll say. I always like looking at the commercial side of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Crazy tow truck.
yeah, crazy tow trucks, restored cement mixers, and stuff you don't normally see, but very unique, and of course a lot of use specific vehicles. And then as far as inspiration is concerned,
I have an idea that's been bouncing around since 2014.
Yeah.
And I kind of talked about it, and Matt kind of talked about it. Matt made it happen last year.
Yeah, last year we chose to go with, well, last year we were looking for a truck anywhere from 30 to 53, and we found the 46. So Model A has always been in that mix of, and it makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense for the show, and it works well.
And if nothing else, it's got mechanical brakes.
Right.
Really interesting if you get into those.
I talked about last year.
So the question is if we ever got our Red Bull sponsorship. The answer to that would be no at this point. However, we're always
We're not opposed to it.
no,
right?
we're not opposed to it. So we'll see how well our media team can work with Red Bull and get us sponsorship going down the road. How's that work?
That could be okay. We'll have room for stickers on that.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so the question is, why are we bringing a chassis to the show, opposed to buying a chassis there and, I'll say in quotes, completely building the car. As one of our goals is to drive the car home. To take a car across state lines, you do not have the leniency like you do in state of the, depending on where you're at, 3 to 7 days of driving it minus a title or a registration and all that type of stuff. So for us to drive it home across Pennsylvania, Ohio, and then into Michigan, we have to have the vehicle registered before we go. Now, for those of you in other states, you'd be like, well, hold it. In my state, I got to have a chassis, inspected and all that type of stuff. Michigan does not require that. So we are able to come out with we have a valid title, we have a plate, we have insurance, we have all that. Obviously, we are not going to take the car out on the road that is not safe. Again, you want to come home, I want to come home, and I don't want to take anybody out on the way back. So to answer your question, that is why we have to always, I guess if we do it within one state, I know we could do it within Michigan. If Michigan had a swap meet that was as extraordinary as Hershey or Carlisle, as a for instance, then we would be able to totally wing it.
But just
until
from a
then,
logistics standpoint, it makes a lot more sense to have it beforehand so we can get it registered. So it's once we have it all assembled, it's ready to run, it's ready to drive. Anyway,
Okay.
it's good to go.
But if there's any of our viewers out there that are so inclined to do that type of build, I fully encourage it. Absolutely,
Sure.
Go after it. Good, thanks for that.
Sensible answer.
So we got a winner for the trivia question.
Okay.
And there's questions that we don't know and
Ah,
Cool.
Okay,
Cool.
so we have a winner of the trivia question,
Send you a T-shirt your way.
and I'm gonna say this, but so that trivia question, the answer is Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which really dates the person that was asked that question, and I'll say that because I know he's my same age, and or virtually, and the winner was PNP Racing, which I guess if you guys are
Congrats.
watching the live stream, you'll see the things where I can't. So we will get that out. How should we get the? Okay, we'll contact you later to get address and whatnot. Unless you're going to be at Hershey, and I'll tell you what, if you're at Hershey and if you want us to scribble on it, heck, we could even sign it. You never know.
I mean, if you want.
Yeah,
It might lower the value of the T-shirt, but
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, that's pretty presumptuous, I suppose.
Does violence raise
The question is does wiring scare us if we're starting with, since we're starting basically with nothing? Well, at the end of the day, wiring's just a lot of spaghetti, and as long as you take that spaghetti to the right spot, we're all right. But what our plan is to locate a wiring harness at the swap meet, and that will help mitigate some of that. Call it mystery, and the wiring is going to be very simple. I mean,
there's not a lot
you
to
have
it.
taillights, headlights, power to the coil, and power.
Bumping stereo.
Well, you don't even have there is no the thumping stereo in fact. But even like from a starter standpoint, the starter, all you do is supply it power. The driver truly is the solenoid. There is no there is a plunger that goes through the floor that the driver pushes on because it's a push or a pedal starter button, and you are the solenoid. You mechanically push it down. So it's a beautiful idea because there's no failure there.
You got a crank start too, so you can break some wrists. If
We do have a crank start. Yes, that's exactly right.
Put some Hershey grease on the T-shirt.
There we go. So,
Question is, where are the wrenchmen?
so right now, I am part of the wrenchman. So the question is, where are the wrenchmen at? Well, I am representing. I will be representing the wrenchmen. Mr. Lewis will not be able to join us this year. He is doing a very favorable function right now, and we will be appearing soon on a YouTube channel. So for all you that are anxiously anticipating that series, it is on its way, and I hope you look forward to watching that as well as we have been filming it. And who knows, we may be having some guest appearances from the Swap the Street Challenge at some point in time. You never know.
Should we do a boat wrenchman?
We could. We'll have to get more wrenches though, so we can drop in the water.
Oh yeah. Oh, I hate that. What's in my garage? I have a 2005 Pontiac GTO, which is kind of my daily driver summer car. I just ended up purchasing a winter car because here in Michigan, you have to make a sacrifice to the winter gods if you don't want your car to be completely destroyed.
In about 4 years. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So I ended up, I'm picking up a 2002 Mercury Grand Marquis, so I've got to have myself a cop car. As far that's as far as cars go. I've got like a collection of old outboard boat motors, older, smaller wooden hydroplane boats and race boats, and some little stuff that me and my dad built over the years. So I kind of got a bunch of different interests.
Cool. Yeah, there's locally here. There's a race that goes through the Chain of Lakes, and And that isn't that one of those?
Yeah,
I mean, you race
yeah.
that, and it's a
Indian River up near Alanson, Michigan. They have this really cool race where they basically close down the lakes and the river for a day, and then they take these probably 12-foot and under race boats with outboard motors, and they run them up and down the river. And it's cool because they have a section of it where it's normally like blocks where you have to put the boat in, have the water level raise, and then you pull out. They open up the lock, so it's just water just flowing through, and these guys go screaming down through there in the sections of the river that are, as narrow as this table.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you say river, we're not talking about the
No,
width of the
not like
Mississippi River.
No.
We're talking about a very small northern Michigan
Right.
river.
People might call them streams or creeks or something.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and that goes through, what, 7 bodies of water?
Yeah.
7
Yeah.
major
It's nuts.
lakes, I guess. Cool.
What part do you
So and I'm going to let Brad answer this one. So what the question is what part do we hope we locate the fastest?
I would have to say the body, because although it's kind of a combination of stuff, but it's going to be the thing that hinges everything onto it. Locating the body is going to allow us to figure out what other pieces we're going to need in order to complete this thing. So I think that's
Because without the body, we're strapped to know what seats we can put in.
right. So it's just like it's
Now, for me personally, what I hope, this is one of those things. I'd like to find it as a unit.
right.
But I'm a little nervous about finding fuel.
That's right, because it's integral up front.
It's exactly on a 30 to 31. It's integral. It is the outside body in front of the windshield. It is the dash. It obviously holds the fuel. It also, which obviously we're not going to be driving it without a fuel tank.
Right. That's
And then it also holds the steering wheel. So it has a lot of, and theoretically it actually holds the gauge pad.
right.
Let's say that's
Zip ties. Your ties are definitely
Yes, but the dash.
Yeah.
We don't have a.
Yep.
Yeah. So a fuel tank can be, and that does. I'm pretty positive that does cross through all the bodies. So a solid. We'll find out. Yep. Yeah, I can't wait to get one. That would fit on this and this body, but not the one you bought.
Okay.
Oops. So there's that. Oh, so the question is how my Chevelle is. Now, depending on who answered that question or asked that question, that could be loaded. They might not be talking about the red Chevelle. So I'm pretty simple. I named my cars red Chevelle, blue Chevelle, station wagon. I don't put names, physical names to them. We'll say. The red Chevelle is doing excellent. I do have a small vibration at highway speeds, which I believe is relative to pinion angle, since I had the drive shaft balance, but rebalance. The fuel injection is phenomenal, and it's been. I know I did. Yes, I have done what I had said I never would do, is put fuel injection on an old car. But I tell you what, it is nice. Yeah, I would really like to go and add in a 5-speed manual. Swap the 400 trans back out and put 5-speed in there. But we'll see. And I also have on the docket for next year, because I got pushed back from this year, was I need to get a different set of rims and tires. They're old and tired. So. But otherwise, it's doing great. We have actually put some miles on it this year. My wife and I and the kids, and we've done some car cruises here locally, just on our own stuff. We also did one with the Hagerty Cars and Caffeine. We had it here last week, actually, for the Cars and Caffeine in the morning. The lessons crews in the early spring.
Sounds healthy.
It does. It sounds happy. It starts up every time. It's nice. And yeah, and then the other thing we're going to do is, we were just talking about this morning, is in October we're going to have another
Yeah.
caffeine cruise, so
another
that'd be
cruise.
good. It'd be about, I think we end up being about 100 miles, something like that. So
So yeah,
that'd be nice.
all lined up through the lakes around here. It's some of the roads.
Yep.
Awesome.
The question is there a, when we find a part, is there a budget, or is it just more of a mentality of you have to snag it now? I guess I'm going to answer this question. It'll certainly always depend on what that particular part is. If I have a general idea of what what some of the parts will cost. However, if this is the only one we have seen, obviously we have to snag it while we can, because the guy standing literally next to me may be looking to buy the exact same piece. You never know. So you have to be a little savvy about that. But at the same token, we have enough latitude relative to what the project can be or how we get it there, that I don't have to have the most immaculate looking piece. I have to have the functional piece, right? I mean, that's
It's just, at the end of the day, it's got to work.
we have to make it work. So I don't need to pay extra for anything. And then from a budget standpoint, yes, we do have a budget, and it is a very tangible budget to anyone out there looking to put together a car, exactly like we did with the Ford pickup truck. The idea is that everyone can do this. It doesn't take, and that's a lot of the point of our builds is get out there and do it. You don't have to have the dream garages that we all drool over on TV, and we also don't have to scream and yell at each other doing it. We're all human beings, and we all want to do the same thing and get to the same spot. So the idea is we don't have immaculate tools we're bringing.
A lot of the stuff is actually going to be, if you've got friends you know at the show, they're going to be borrowing.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we're bringing our hand tools. We're certainly, we're going to bring in a welder. We're going to bring in a torch, and that's stuff that we need relative to the location that we're at. But certainly, if you were doing this at home, you always can befriend someone that has a welder and a torch and some of those types of things, and do it the good old community way. To help some of my steps this year, or team in general, is we're going to have some Woodward fab tools right in the booth, so you don't have to walk across the Hershey grounds to get to them and carry sheet metal through the crowd. So that'll make that a little bit nicer. This year we did bump our team a little bit. We have 2 scouts, 4 parks, official scouts. But we will still utilize a whiteboard of, I'm assuming, unless that's changed, but we'll have a whiteboard out there of, hey, here's what we are looking for. And by all means, crowdsourcing is a wonderful thing. And I know we'll have people, at least from our experience last year, we should have people give us a hand where they can. And
So definitely follow our posts. We'll have stuff up on social media soon too. We're in dire need of this thing. So, you're at the show, know where it is, hit us up. So it's really cool that we got that option too.
yeah, last year we had a couple people that it was really interesting how they would check in, on an hourly or on a bi-hourly or just the beginning of the day or the end of the day, but and with the question of, is there anything I can help you with? Is there anything I can help you find? And what is really neat to me about that is that kind of goes throughout the car hobby, and that is the stuff that we want to stress. or think about is, it isn't an individual game. This is a hobby with other people involved, and no one has every resource available to them. Even though popular belief may be that, it's pick on him, Mr. Leno has this huge garage in the shop, and you know what? He calls people too. He asks people questions too.
Yep.
And it's no different than any investor. Yep. So yeah, we are not Model A experts. This is
By all means.
Yeah.
We both got
Yeah.
a few.
Yeah, I've
Manuals.
been learning lots with this car. So if you have information you're at the show and want to drop on by, or obviously via the live stream, and you see something on the live stream that's like, oh hey, hold it, better be careful here or there. Absolutely, shoot that information
We
to us.
want the help.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
We're no experts.
That's an excellent question. So the question is, for safety, will we buy new tires? We do have a full set of tires. However, they are badly in need of replacement. So yes, we will be replacing those tires. Mr. Coker, Corky Coker, will be the one that we tap on for tires this year, and again as well as last year. And if nothing else, it's a blast to always talk to Corky. He's an excellent person to speak with, and his product is phenomenal.
I think it's just cool that they even make tires that can fit on stuff that was made years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So the answer to the question, yes, we will be getting new tires. And safety, obviously, is always our goal. We have to go down the road safely. We have to be able to stop, and we have to pull over. And we'll do the best we can to be obviously not a nuisance relative to speed. We won't be taking the main highway on the way home like we did last. We did not as well last year. We'll be taking the back roads, and they're a lot more fun anyway.
I mean, the car is essentially a go-kart on stilts.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
That Model A's are hilariously fun.
Yes, they are.
But not fast.
I can't wait to see you drive that crash box.
I've driven one before. I know how to double clutch. It's all good.
The question is, do we have an engine? The answer to that is yes. We do have a Model A engine that came with the chassis when we purchased it. We do not, it is not a running engine, so we do not know that we have a viable engine to bring us home in. We are going to find that out probably as quickly as we possibly can. Well, it'll have to be as quickly as we can because the way everything is assembled.
We have to source one. We're gonna have to figure that out quick.
Really quick. So, I'll say after we have the chassis on jack stands on Tuesday, the motor we have needs to get set into that frame.
We'll be trying to crank it
And
over.
we're gonna try to figure out how we can get some fuel to it and see if it'll run. And then we'll know how fun the rest of the week is gonna be.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Wow.
Yes, and speaking of that, I have something I'll show everybody. But anyway,
Go ahead.
no, I'm gonna let you
Are
go.
you gonna let
ahead.
me go?
Yeah.
Because,
So the question is how did we get involved in the car collecting hobby or car hobby in general? So I'm gonna let you.
my question.
There you go.
I got started in the car collecting hobby way back, for as long as I can remember. My parents have had collector cars, actually here at Hagerty. 1948 Chevy Driftmaster pickup truck. Still has still quote 6. Farm truck my dad bought in Missouri for $350 and was stored in the back alley I say restore, it's still sort of ratty, but it is hilarious. It's just an old farm truck, and it's a sweetheart. But I learned how to drive stick shift in a car on that truck, and then a 1965 Mustang, which they bought when I was about 1 year old. They restored it. And that car is also inline six. It's just a good car. But
That's an inline six.
yeah.
I heard that car this morning.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that did not sound like an inline
I know,
six.
isn't it funny? You put a kind of dirty muffler on
Yeah,
there.
it sounds
And-
really good.
I know. So there you go. That's the best 120 horsepower has ever sounded.
Yeah,
right?
no kidding. No kidding.
So that's kind of how I got involved in the hobby. I've been driving cars. I've had prior to my GTO that I owned, I had a 2004 Mustang. I had this GTO for about actually I think this week is my 3-year anniversary of the car. So that's pretty cool. But I like modern stuff. I like old stuff. Obviously, been involved with the boating hobby is really a big part of my life too. I was just thought it was normal for you to grow up and your dad just has a big boat in the garage that works on it. You go out there and help him sand and varnish. And doesn't everyone's kid?
Exactly.
No, I guess not. So, but that's always been kind of fun too.
Right.
So I've been involved with the boating hobby, the car hobby, classic, all sorts of stuff. So,
Gotcha. Well, mine's a little different. As far as parents wise, my parents aren't into classic cars by any means. In fact, I know they shake their head at me constantly with what stuff I drag home and whatnot. My dad is also into boats, but fishing boats. So, as a kid, we did a lot of fishing with my grandpa and such. And, so for me, to use the pun, I'm a fish out of water relative to my family because it's a mode of transportation. But I fondly remember, I had an uncle when I was a kid that built the little plastic with all the models and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I used to do that with him, and then of course the hot rod or Hot Wheel cars that you could pick up for way less than $1 at Kmart, and that was the treat if you behaved. If you could get a car when you left and needed to sit, if you hit the well at the store. Might be the only time, but that was when I did.
Somehow I don't know if that's true.
And I remember, probably only being 5, 6 years old, and we would go to my aunt's. That was the hour trip, big trip. We called everybody, 3 of us in the car and go. But I remember multiple times being told, just be quiet about the cars, because it would be, look at that, that's cool, I like that. Well, I still do that. My wife just ignores me to some extent, but she also loves cars, so it's a pretty easy sell.
Man.
It's a pretty easy sell, so yeah. That's how I got involved anyway, and then it's been downhill from there from a disease standpoint, but what the heck. Keeps you out of-
As my dad would say, there's a book for that.
Yeah, exactly. So, speaking of your dad, will you hand me that right there, please? That rag.
Oh yeah.
So, this morning at our Cars and Caffeine, and this is slightly off topic and I digress, but the idea is, what I'm going to make a point of is everyone has their story relative to the car. And I thought it was very cool that your dad this morning, come over and introduced himself to me, and had his Mustang, and I assume that was your mother with him.
Yep.
And he hands me this rag, and I feel like there's some heat in it. And he says, here, when I was doing the Fleetmaster, right? Driftmaster truck, that he was going to different salvage yards down in Missouri, and one of the salvage yards, the guy that owned it, had only this wrench, or a wrench similar to that, obviously, in his pocket, and told him that he could take anything off the car that he needed with that wrench. So he made sure that Randy, I assume he gave you one, myself and Brad all have a wrench in their pocket,
He told me he had something, but he
You
didn't.
didn't get yours?
I haven't gotten.
You know,
one
that's
yet.
what always happens.
Right.
So. Well, anyway,
Thanks,
if you
Dan.
need to borrow one, I have
Oh,
one for you.
thanks, Steve.
It'll be in my pocket. So I thought that was kind of neat, and I'm sure there's other stories out there of a favorite tool, let's say, that you always carry. I always take like a pair of side cutters and some stuff like that, and kind of that. But, of course, there's always the favorite tool, the only one that works.
Yeah.
Even though you got maybe 5, 6 more of them that are exactly the same, but that's the only one that fits your hand nice. But yeah. So anyway, we'll get back to any questions. We got to figure out what the best question is here, because
Oh, that's right.
as a quick reminder, we do have the Barn Find Road Trip book by Tom Cotter, and on YouTube, our Hagerty YouTube channel is all the Barn Find Hunters. And if this one in particular is not signed by him, we will certainly have it signed if anyone wishes.
Or a t-shirt.
Yep. And also a t-shirt. Oh, what? So again, what body would we personally like to find? Now, for the build, we want to find I'll say the best condition body we can find for our budget. Obviously, dreams and expectations would be to find a 5-window coupe, for $200. But I'm going to bet that won't happen.
Right.
But you never know. And I personally have always wanted to build a 2-door sedan, but leave it so the top can roll back.
Oh, yeah.
I'll call it a convertible with door frame. Yeah, something like that. There is a body that's like a 4-door Roadster, a Phaeton style body. That would be phenomenal, but those are also few and far between as well. Vicky.
I saw a picture of a Roadster in bare metal, and it got me.
Nice.
Oh, I could really. That would be really cool. That rumble seat is like this. I don't know. I think that would be really cool. Ultimately, it fits the bill better. Probably have a 4-seater. There you go. But
yeah.
So, more than likely 2 or 4-door sedan.
Yeah,
what we'd end up with.
I think that's going to be the most likely.
We'd like to. We've done a pickup, but if there's a good pickup there and it's the choice, then that'll have to be.
And I tell you what though, let's say if we came across a pickup cab, well, let's say the roof was caved in.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so completely damaged, right? Not something that could be utilized as a solid cab for a restoration, a full-on restoration.
Right.
It would be entertaining maybe to do a Roadster pickup.
That would be interesting.
And I don't think that would, get us. We certainly don't want to, take a rock solid.
Right, and turn it
cab
into something that's not.
And chop the daylights out. That would be wrong. But that would be tough. That would be a bad thing. And then the other thing that's out there is, if someone showed up with a speedster body. That's another spot that would be. Now it wouldn't buy into our all 4 people necessarily, but it could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a tough decision.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Are you buying us? Are we getting goggles?
So
leather flight caps and goggles. That'd be really cool.
So I will bring my leather cap.
Do you have?
Yes. So doing the Great Race the last few years in the 1917 Peerless Green Dragon, that doesn't scare me at all. Not having a top.
Why not?
You know,
Right?
always the question is what happens, when it rains, and you can't not reply of what happens when you stand in the shower. It's the same thing. I get wet. So
We're getting damp.
yeah.
That's all there is to it.
The only thing that gets a little iffy is when you're trying to do, 50, let's say at, with a ridiculous downpour. It's just hard to see because the rain pumping you in the forehead gets pretty painful. But yeah, that would be interesting. I could see doing that. I could see doing a roadster body without and that would eliminate having to get the stanchions. Well, you wouldn't have to mess around with the glass. You wouldn't have to mess around with the stanchions.
And this is just sounding better. But
I like that. I'm going to nominate that for at least one of those.
That's a contender.
One of those
right there.
questions, yeah.
That's a contender.
All right. Well, we'll have to. So it's time to wrap up. Was that pretty much our last question in there?
You want to explain how we attach the chassis to the truck?
Oh yeah.
We can show it.
Oh yeah. So the question is basically how did we make a trailer out of our Model A chassis? So what we did is I fabricated up a frame mount hitch off the back of the Hershey truck, the Swap the Sweep truck, and it has and it's also integral into that to the factory bumper as well. Tongue weight is very, very low with what we have on the chassis.
I imagine under 600 pounds.
Yeah, it's less. Yeah. That tongue. Yeah, so the tongue weight is closer to probably 80.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
Oh yeah, the whole thing. Yeah.
So we took front axles out of the way so we don't have that extra weight, and basically took a tow bar hitch from a brand new one right out of the box from Harbor Freight. Pulled through some with $70, and added some frame extensions mainly so we could angle them back because that drawbars is purely a V. And used some C-channel to bolt to the frame. Made the C-channel V into the other to adapt over, and everything's bolted in nice and solid. We have the transmission, the torque tube, and the rear axle in there. Of course, rear axle's fully greased, and the transmission's fully greased. And in this way, we can drag that down the road. It actually pulls very well. I gave it a test drive this morning, so it's got the first 17 miles under its belt, and the truck pulls it nicely. It has a little shimmy, but that's basically the truck. It's not the trailer. The only time you really know it's back there is when you hit a big bump. You get a little bit of a jar, but that's within the trailer. So we'll be bombing down the road here, and
We got some rudimentary lights hooked up, so
a
safety.
little over 48 hours. We're on the road. So there was a question relative to actually to one, why didn't you buy it? Why didn't you bring? Why you're bringing anything?
Yeah, why not get it
I
there?
think that's good for a T-shirt for sure.
Okay, that would be sweetchariots.com.
Right.
Okay. So sweetchariots.com for the question of a very pragmatic question of why do you have to bring something? Why can't you just show up on the ground and buy something new? So that's for the T-shirt.
Oh, you
I'm sorry. You get to pick. And then second, I'm going to say the
roadster.
well, that was more of a vote. Those were votes.
Comments.
Those are votes for.
That's true. Yes.
There was the question relative to the first thing, and then the question relative to hardest, kind of like the hardest.
Oh yeah, like what's gonna be the
What's going to be the protection? forms. Is that correct? Something along that lines? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no.
All right, so let me address that. That first part, that'll be the hardest one to find, will be the one that one of our parts runner, and I won't name his name because he knows who he is. Can't find.
That's right. That's right.
Oh well, yeah, absolutely. Okay, and
Good
T-shirt
username.
or oh, they can choose. All right, so then I guess since this is someone. Oh yeah, okay. So, and for the gentleman that or person that asked relative to where the wrenchmen are at, send us your information and we'll get you off a wrenchman hat for that. It was an excellent question. And the trivia question was a stumper, but I don't know that was that was a good one. Yeah, I know. Okay. So let's see. What else? Good. All right. So I guess for the last person or the last one, as far as choosing which they would like, basically, what's going to be the hardest part?
Yeah.
The hardest hurdle in general. For the first part to find, something along that line. Yes. Yeah. So, and it's a choice still of this. All right. So the choice of the book or the T-shirt to the person that asked the question relative to what our goals and accomplishments are going to be different relative to last year. So. And
Good question.
yeah, absolutely. That was great. Now, obviously, we're going to be on the road Sunday.
Yep.
To get out to Hershey. Oh, okay, good. So so tune in relative to social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we will be certainly posting some photos along our way and keeping very updated on our progress. Cutting across 2 states to get to. First, we got to drive for a day and a half to get to Michigan.
That's right.
Or it feels like it at least. And then Ohio. But yeah, so we should. I hope we have safe travels, obviously. And anyone that is coming out to Hershey, certainly stop by the booth, say hi.
We want to meet you.
Yes, absolutely, and have safe travels as well. And tune in and hopefully root us on and
we're looking forward to it. It's gonna be a blast this year. Really cool.
I like that suggestion to put a Hemi in it. That'd be fantastic.
I'm not opposed.
So, hey, you never know. That's why you keep watching.
That's right.
All right. Well, you guys take care. Have fun.
Thanks for
And
tuning
be
in.
safe.